It's going to be a while, but I'm thinking about short trade setting up. We've got an unfilled gap down here from yesterday. Overnight low is kind of a go no go level because if I look at uh, my profile chart that includes Globex, you can kind of see that overnight low had a probe that failed below what's looking like to be over the last 4 sessions, including today, is a balance area. Being that if overnight low gives, then I'm thinking we're going to hit 40, almost a single. On top of that, the structure from a couple days ago from that rally is completely weak. This is very weak structure right here. And we've got a poor high, we've got a poor low. Profile is becoming very squat. It is very squat. And so a move in either direction could be quite large because it's such a narrow base. And I've got some other indications that there's a lot of buying going on from the open. Indexed right here, we've just zeroed out today's cumulative delta, and we still have a gap between the open and right here. So there's still some longs holding on here, but I'm thinking because they're not getting paid, because they really ran it up this morning, haven't been able to get anything more other than a few ticks, and that's it. So I'm thinking these longs, if they don't start seeing some type of range extension to the upside, they're going to give up, and then that's just going to light the fire for a liquidation break. And it'd be really nice to be on the right side of that. It may be a while, but I also have an exhaustion buy sells right here. These little blue dots, 1, 2, and then this white dot, bearish divergence, first signal. I want to see a higher exhaustion pattern, which would be a flush. It will be a yellow ball like this that fires off. And if I can get that to coincide with probably the high of the day, maybe a little bit higher, as in this 7-8 line here on my indicator, Murray Math indicator, at 60.50, and a rollover of my better sine wave indicator, which is going to print cyclical resistance. If I can get all of that together, which is a setup of I call it the trifecta, could be positioned really well for a nice trade. Whether or not I catch it or it forms up is a different, entirely different story. But nothing really going on right now. But I'm thinking sooner or later, sometime today, the odds are higher that we move down, and as opposed to moving up. Value is unchanged right now, so it's just two-sided trading currently. But and plus today is an option expiration, so a lot of this stuff is this action is kind of funky, probably as a result of that. Okay, so we continue to have cumulative delta just coming completely off. We've got some divergence here. So, I mean, it's pretty obvious. One of two things is going to happen. These shorts are going to start sweating if they don't get paid sooner or later. Or the market's going to actually react to all this selling. But with today being options expiration again, these days can be funky and tricky, to say the least. And so I try to be very, very cautious about putting too much weight in what may appear to be the obvious. But what's forming up here? I've got also a 10,000 and a 20,000 tick bar chart that are actually showing some bearish setups forming up. So I've already got what I was explaining. This is starting to shape up fairly nicely. Sooner or later, I'm going to get a flush pattern, cyclical resistance, and with how fat and narrow the profile is, we're not going to get a whole lot of range extension um, in the near future, I don't think. So I'll be comfortable if I can get the cyclical resistance to print. I'll be comfortable taking a short, and I don't know if it'll be a scalp or something more, but I think it'll be a safe trade to take. Okay, just got short at 59. On it, it was too. I just couldn't make the decision to wait for what this possibly would mean. I mean, this is a good opportunity, I think, based on this blue professional up bar. I would think that they had some resting limit orders to go short, and however, I've got a lot of buying on my institutional pain up on my volume imbalance footprint chart that I'll drag down here once this trade gets underway a little bit. Got an extremely poor high, and a lot of times that's just traders getting too long, too quick, and could stand for a possible inventory correction. So we'll see how this plays out. So here's what I'm talking about. Delta momentum is going against this trade, but I'm thinking, it was hard to get up here, but there's a lot of buying going on right here. So that's definitely some conflicting information, and it's a chance I'm taking here, definitely. But I've got some cyclical resistance at 59.75 on another chart, but I don't know if that's going to hold or not. Just can't see us getting that much range extension on this. And 60.50 is value area high from yesterday. Okay, so I may have been too early, but this is what I consider an asymmetric opportunity right here because of just everything I've been explaining leading up to me entering this trade. So I'm gonna monitor this and keep a real close eye on things. Okay, so we're starting to come off a little bit. I did get my cyclical resistance printed at 60, coincides with my 20,000 tick bar chart at 59.75. We're going to get one printed over here on the 1500 tick bar chart in the same general area. So that's triple resistance, which just makes it, its effectiveness. I mean, the school of thought is that it makes it, exponentially strong. Plus, it's the high of the day. So we'll see how this plays out. But so far, it feels like this trade's going to work out. I've got my target set at 57, which is the POC volume POC for today. That and also I've got a volume based range template that forecasts highs and lows for each 30-minute period based on the VIX and the opening print of each period, and that one, the low for this period is 56.50. So far today, we've been pretty much respecting every low forecasted print since the open. So I'm gonna say 57 is a good level to shoot for. Cumulative delta is starting to come off, so hopefully we can drag price down with that. I've got a lot of people that have sold in here. Maybe this is just a little bit of an adjustment, shake out some weaker hands, and this price move up, and then boom, get short and hopefully take it lower. So there at 60, that little white dot, that's the first print of cyclical resistance on this chart here. So things are looking pretty good. Just need to get a little bit more movement off of from my entry. Okay, I don't know. I'm having a real hard time interpreting what I see here. This is a lot of institutional lot size orders going off on the long side, but I don't see price reacting to it that much. But cumulative delta is coming off hard, so it's kind of weird. But I do like these sell imbalances I see. So we're getting less and less buying at these levels. According to my this part of the chart down here, there seems to be a lot of buying. But again, options expiration, just a lot of people just trying to I don't know, get out of their options, reposition things. I don't understand it completely. I'm still kind of, I still have a lot to learn, but I just know things get funky on option expiration days. So I'm just going to hold on to this and see what happens. It's very possible I'm going to scratch this trade or take a small loss. I don't like how I see the pro bar coming here and here, and we have got nothing in terms of price coming off of these highs and these resistance levels, and sooner or later we're going to get a print of cyclical support. And then also on top of that, these tails right here, it's not going to take much to move price higher with that much selling with no follow through. So yeah, I'm not really liking it right now. It's been a few minutes, still sitting in this trade. It's flying in the face of everything that my indicators are telling me. I've got rising volume, cumulative delta is we're still holding on, but my delta momentum is just showing buys, but we got a lot of absorption going on here on both sides. So, which is indicated by these 4,000 or 4,000 contracts on each side, just in this most recent bar. So I don't know, it's crazy. This entire period has been only like 6 ticks, so it's very, very weird. But all the other indices are showing they're well off the lows of their day, and they're continuing to show upward movement. Bonds are coming off. So that's kind of, I know that's what's giving us problems here in the ES, and oil's coming off, but I think we've been decoupled from oil recently. So we're gonna see what happens, but somebody is gonna throw the towel in one side or the other, because this is just a huge fight going on. So I'm just going to keep monitoring this. Okay, we've got a new period opened up. This profile is looking more and more like a P, very poor high. And so I know a lot of traders are long in here. P patterns usually indicate people getting too long too quick, and it gives better odds of a inventory liquidation break. I did get my flush pattern to fire off, um, so that's good. And then cumulative delta is starting to turn around and go in favor of the direction that I want to see, and also my delta momentum's flipped. So all these longs here, if that's if they were new positions, then they're going to be puking. But this could be a nice trade here. Okay, I was just taken out at 58. That's probably, you know, true to form. Me getting out too early. This is what I work on constantly, and one of the reasons why I wanted to start recording videos is because I want to watch my trades after the fact, after the emotion is removed from the trade, so I can kind of see where any mistakes that I've made, where I can make those corrections. I'm risk averse. I've mentioned that in some other of my videos. So I tend to take profits too early. I used to hold my losers too long. I've completely corrected that. So that's made a tremendous impact on my P&L. Now it's just a matter of advancing to that next level where I hold these trades until they don't work anymore, basically, because I had no indication, no reason really to get out of this trade other than my head. I'm not complaining because I had a 2 lot on here, 2 lot, 1 point trade, cumulative of 2 points. But I held on to it. I was getting ready to scratch this trade with a tick or two of loss. I would have been really upset with myself. So I'm really happy that I pushed myself through that barrier of this chop for an entire 30-45 minutes of doing nothing. And what was looking like traders wanted to take this market higher and higher based on everything else I was seeing contextually. So very pleased with this trade, even though it's small profit.